Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back with our friends at Lavender Lane, Christine Gosse to start here, who's the owner of the company. And also she's a registered physiotherapist, Reiki master, and you also own Lavender Lane Wellness Center. And she has many more titles, which I forget. So please, would you mind doing the honors, Christine? You know yourself best.
Thanks, Jill. I've been a physiotherapist for over 22 years now. Oh my goodness. And a Reiki master for 6. And I founded Lavender Lane Wellness Center in 2018. And the whole point is to bring holistic and healthcare together and really look at the whole person so that we're looking at things on a mind, body, spirit, soul level and really getting to the root of the problem. And if you do work on all those levels, then you can eradicate things really effectively.
Beautiful. Thank you. And to start, it's lavenderlaneptw.ca.
Yes, that's our website.
Perfect. And who's joining us today? Please introduce Vanessa.
Thanks. This is Vanessa Saleh, our awesome massage therapist, and she has a whole range of services. Yes.
Feeling it.
Offers.
I'm envisioning it. Yes.
Yeah. So everyone who comes out of her office is like, all right, I'm ready to go and have a nap. I'm so relaxed. and really, we work together as a team, and she really helps me move, my cases along, and vice versa. So really wonderful energy. She's a Reiki 1 level practitioner, and she's going to show us acupressure massage today, which is really exciting, and feels amazing. And she does cupping, and she's trained in reflexology. She has some osteopathic training as well. Like, she's the whole package, and a beautiful, beautiful energy.
Aw, beautiful. Welcome, Vanessa. Please say hello and introduce yourself.
Hello, thank you so much for having me today. So my name is Vanessa Saleh, and I've been a registered massage therapist. This August is actually 5 years now. So that's been a wild ride. And I've been working at Lavender Lane since October of 2020, so almost 2 years. So I'm really excited to be here and show you guys a bit about acupressure.
Great. How does it all work?
In theory, acupressure, we're working with pressure points around the body that when stimulated, it helps to release any physical or emotional blockages that you may have been holding. And it's also just a great tool for self-massage to relieve stress and anxiety. Personally, for me, I got into it because growing up, I was always playing sports as a kid. And that comes with aches and pains, and intuitively I would just like rub certain areas that are sore and it would feel great. But now these days I use it a lot as a grounding tool as well. I tend to live in my head a lot, so having that physical stimulation in those pressure points actually helps to bring me down back to the earth and just ground myself and center myself.
Great.
So any questions before we get started?
No, I'm ready to get started, Christine.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I usually start just by kind of settling down where I'm sitting, doing a body scan. If there's any areas that are tense, usually people hold it in the shoulders, in their head, and surprisingly enough, in their hands. Sometimes we take for granted how much we use our hands on a regular basis. So I'll start off just by warming up the hands, and this helps to just stimulate the energy and get the heat going throughout your body. Okay, I'm gonna shake it off, all the anxiety, nerves that can sometimes build up. And the first point that we'll start with is actually just here on the forehead. So between the middle point between your brows. So this one's called your third eye. And you can start just with your 2 fingers, just applying a light, gentle pressure on it. And then pushing just inwards towards the point. And what you can also do is just visualize like all your stressors and anxiety, and you can channel it into this point, and then that'll help release it. So normally I'll hold a point for about 10 to 15 seconds and just breathing through it. So in through your nose, filling your belly with air up into your lungs, and then just holding it at the top, and then release all the air nice and slowly, along with the stresses and worries that build up. And then I usually like to come out of a point just by circling the point a little bit and just coming off of it nice and gently. So that's the starting point. And then the next point that's good for stress relief and headaches is actually called the heavenly gate point. So you can do it on either ear, but you just find the curve, the apex of your ear, and almost like you're pinching it from the back and front. So by applying pressure.
And it's a little bit tender when you find it?
Yeah, sometimes it can be tender. Yeah, especially if like there's a lot of blockages. That's one of the signs that.
And for me, from wearing headphones all the time, it's always tender. I didn't know.
Perfect.
The ear too. So I like with this point, I like to also give like a gentle tug outwards, and that just stretches like all the soft tissue that's connected to your jaw, your mouth, and that's also a point of stress for a lot of people. So again, just breathing through that point. Taking in one more deep breath. And one more. Exhale out. So I like this point. Whenever I do this point, I always visualize myself like tugging out all the negative words and thoughts that can build up in the brain instead of doing our thing. Okay. All right. So the next point, it's called shoulder well. And you find it on just where the neck meets the shoulder. So in that nice little curve there. So I'll do my left side, but you can do both sides as well. So what I'll do is like, I'll take my hand and just place it just behind the crease of my neck. And then almost like as if you're dragging the soft tissue forward towards the front of your shoulder. And then that just helps to kind of stimulate the muscles a little bit. This can be really tender. Like a lot of us hold stress in our neck and shoulders, especially if we're working at computer screens all the time or, you know, texting, all that stuff.
We do both sides at once?
Yeah, so you can do both sides at once. Sometimes you can do what you're doing is like just having it straight out like that. Or sometimes I like to cross over, kind of like I'm giving myself a hug. So this one I'll do a couple times.
Oh, I'm definitely going to need this one.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Feels good.
It feels great.
Good. Yeah, and one side may be more tender than the other. Sometimes it's our dominant side, whatever the dominant hand is.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a good one if you're at a screen for a long time. And you can even add some neck movements as well. Because sometimes...
And all the manual work that you and I do.
All right, so we can release that. And this one, I'm just going to lower down my camera a little bit so you can see it. So this one is my favorite one. This one, I find it so underrated in acupressure. But this one is called letting go. So this point, you can find it like, I use the top of my shoulders as a reference, and then just shimmy down a little bit until you're at that point where it meets the armpit. So just right there on the edge of the shoulder. And this one you can do both at the same time. So what I like to do, I'll hook my thumbs into that point over there and then just push in. And that can be really tender because there's a lot of nerves that come off there, but so just try and go gently. You don't have to push yourself to the point of pain. And this one's a great one to really breathe into. So if you want to take a couple deep breaths here. And again, you can come out of this point doing a couple of circles, gentle circles. And you can release. All right. And then, so the next point is actually found on our forearms. This one's called Inner Frontier. So I find it just by taking my hand up like this. At the wrist crease, I'll measure 3 fingers from it. And just beneath the 3rd finger, that's where you're going to place the thumb. So again, this is you're gonna, and then you're gonna come around the other side as well, just to hold it in place. And this one, it's great to relieve for any wrist pain or any tension that you hold from working at computers. So I'll press into this point here and do a couple of wrist circles. So going one way. And then the other way.
Snapping.
It's snapping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be your tendons are tight. Yeah. And then I'll also like to rotate my wrist as well. That works other muscles.
Well, I don't think I've ever used this part of my body, like knowingly, like tried to help it. It is so tight and it keeps snapping. Mm-hmm. Never, ever, ever massaged it.
And we can do it.
It's amazing how much tension gets stored in our hands and our forearms.
Wow.
Yeah. So we can transfer to the other side as well. So same thing. So 3 fingers width from the crease of your wrist.
Wait, do we just switch hands?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, did I miss? Okay. Sorry.
It's the same measurement. So 3 fingers down from the wrist crease and place the thumb underneath the 3rd finger. And then the same thing. So circling that wrist one way. And then the other way.
Definitely tighter on the right again. Yeah. But I'm right-handed, so that makes sense.
Cracking on this side, and then you can rotate your wrist like that. Yeah. So that's my favorite one. I use like, I get a lot of tension in my wrist.
I'm sure you do.
It definitely snap, crackle, pops.
Yeah.
A good one.
And then the last point we have is called Union Valley. So this is actually, while it's great for stress and anxiety, it's also great for helping to relieve headaches that may be coming from the tension in your hands. So to find the Union Valley, it's just this point where we curve at the thumb and the finger here. And then if I go down a little bit to like the fleshy part, just before you hit the bone, that's where you find Union Valley. And then I'll take my pointer finger and middle finger and just rest it on there. And then the thumb will just go on the opposite side of it. You can see that. So then I'll press them together as if I'm trying to have them meet, and then just stimulate it gently. So this is starting to become more common now, just because a lot of like technology requires thumbs.
Texting, emailing.
Yeah, so I find it's more common now, especially amongst younger people too. And that wasn't always a problem, but yeah, so this is good just to relieve the big thumb muscles, which can sometimes refer into your wrist as well. And then we can do
this is one of my favorite acupuncture points that I like to needle. because it works on headaches, it works on pain in the whole upper body, and it reduces inflammation, but it also boosts your immune system.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a sympathetic switch, so it has a lot of different. Oh, the right side is good. I'll be using these again.
No, it's great. And that's what I love about acupressure too, because it goes over so well with other modalities such as acupuncture and EFT, because they use the same points. It's just stimulated differently. And it's just a matter of whether you're like, are you doing it more for physical pain, or is there emotional pain underlying that's causing it? And then for this one, I just find it's a great grounding tool for people who need to come back to their physical bodies. So those are all the points that I use for stress relief and anxiety. I find it helps a lot when I'm in between massages. If I can't get in to see someone, then I'll just like go through these, and then it's kind of nice because it's like it starts here and then just ends up coming up this way. So by the end, you're just releasing all that stress and bad negative energy towards the end.
Thank you.
And I can definitely feel the endorphins happening. I'm like, ooh, floaty.
It's
wonderful.
Circulation. So, you're releasing all that blockage and just, letting everything flow through as it should.
And that's what I love about what we do is we all come at things from a different perspective. The acupuncture points, the emotional freedom technique points, the acupressure, and the chakras often line up. So you may be working on something and you think you're doing it for a physical reason, for example, and all of a sudden you get an emotional response. And by clearing out that emotional response, all of a sudden all the physical stuff goes, like we can then start to make strides again. So it's really important to be looking at everything, because you could be treating a joint and doing it for months and nothing happens sometimes, because it's not only the physical that's involved. So really, I love the way that Vanessa does her massage therapy techniques, because she brings everything together, and it's really more of it. Yes, it's physical, but it also helps to release emotions, and people come out feeling spiritually cleansed and better. Right? Like, I can't say enough about Vanessa. She's amazing. So you can book in person with Vanessa online at lavenderlaneptw.ca. And Vanessa, did you want to discuss some of the different techniques that you use, like cupping?
Yes. So, as a blanket, I'm a registered massage therapist, but I specialize in acupressure, cupping, prenatal massage therapy. I also have my Reiki certification, level 1. And really just the main aspect of my practice is chronic pain relief and management. I love helping clients try and pinpoint where their pain is stemming from, because, when you find the root, then giving it a name just helps a lot. Like, that's a big first step in a lot of the cases that we work with. And then it's all about just relieving it and managing it within your
and we really work to help the client understand why. Why is this happening? Because, like, for example, I've had people come in with jaw pain, and I've traced their postural issues all the way down to their core stability isn't working. Right? Like, so you really sometimes have to be a little bit persistent and figure out. People are wonderful puzzles, really. So sometimes you just got to figure out all those different components and, bring in, we have got a wonderful team of professionals that can look at things from every angle. So physio and massage and acupressure, osteopath, but emotional freedom technique, which we did last week with you, Jill. Sometimes we need to clear out generational traumas using Ohana generational healing. So it could be a nutrition issue that Denise can look at. And all of our holistic services are available online. So we can do a video call, and our energy work is just as effective as if we were in the same room.
I love that. Whoa, what was that?
I don't know.
I heard a loud noise when you
I
said,
don't think
yeah,
it was.
Energy Works. Maybe you didn't hear it. I did. It's coming through the speakers over here. But now, Vanessa, with your work and what you do with massage therapy, so you mentioned prenatal you work with. One question I have when I go for a massage, which is rare, but what's the difference with like Swedish massages? I mean, no, it's not therapy. Then you have the hard, what do you call it? The
Deep tissue.
deep tissue and all. How do you assess what's best for someone? You just feel it, you just know it, and you sense it when you evaluate them, or?
So I usually go through an assessment process when I first meet someone. It really depends on because like I like to give them like an option. If they prefer something more relaxing, then that's something that I'm definitely going to cater to. But if they want something that's more therapeutic, more about relieving chronic pain, then we have to get into a bit more detail about like the type of techniques I'm going to be using, because it's different from just the relaxation techniques. Some of the deep tissue techniques often cause discomfort when we're working out tension. And that's really the biggest difference between that and Swedish massage techniques, which are more aimed at relaxing.
How many deep tissues could you do in a day? Your hands. You must need massage therapy after your own session. It's like a double-edged sword.
Well, what's great about the school I went to is that they really encouraged a lot of proper body posture when you're treating someone. And yes, I do use my hands for more detailed work when I'm working like with the neck and the head. But for bigger body parts, I usually use my forearms or my elbows.
Oh, wow.
So it really helps give more effective treatments, and also just saves my body from being too broken. So
got it.
Yeah. But self-care is important for everybody.
Yes.
Right? Like I go for chiropractic, massage, and acupuncture every month.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
To keep myself ahead of the game.
Right.
Because we're working physically all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's wonderful, but it's not it's not the easiest on our bodies, right? Long term. So it's super important for anybody. Because even sitting at a computer, for example, is a repetitive strain on your neck, on your shoulders, on your back. You don't have to be working physically, like manually, like we do, to have issues.
That's right.
No. Well, thank you for sharing. What else did we want to discuss before we recap the weekend, which I want to make sure we get to? But
yes, we're offering either online or in-person oracle card readings now with Lynn Berrybo, our intuitive channel and oracle card reader. The parties can be between 6 and 9 people. And if you're local within the Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph, Cambridge area in Ontario, then she can come out to your home. And otherwise, you can book it online and have a girls' night or work party or do something different. Really connect with spirit and get some guidance and have a fun time doing it. So those are bookable. If you just need to contact me through the website. She's booking for June and August at the moment, and we're really excited to be offering that right now.
Yeah, Lynn's
and anytime you can contact us through the website lavenderlaneptw.ca for gift certificates, and that can be for online or in-person services. Just contact me and we'll arrange it. And we're all available through online booking. You can go through and see our wonderful practitioners and who resonates with your heart. That's the one for you.
Yes. Thank you.
Welcome. So, Jill, we did some tapping with you last week to prepare you for your Memorial Day weekend.
Yes. Well, let me explain to you. Friday, I was very sick last week. If you remember, I'm still trying to get over this cold. I was very sick over the weekend. Thank goodness. My son also injured his thumb Friday night. So we ended up at the doctor thinking that he broke a thumb. It wasn't broken, just strained the tendon. So I kind of, and I didn't feel good. Saturday, I slept, and now I get up at 7 in the morning with my kids and we sleep together. I could not get up out of bed. That's how sick I was. So I got sicker. That makes sense. Yeah. And I slept till 12:30 on and off because the kids were running in and out of my room, but I had to lay in bed. I was that sick.
Oh
So
dear.
whatever happened, it was all kind of karma. I feel that I had to stay home. My son, we were up until like midnight at the doctor. I didn't feel well. And so believe it or not, we never hit the water park on Saturday. We did not go upstate and upstate, Vanessa, there's some family drama and issues, which I was preparing for. Really didn't want to go see my family, but for my kids' benefit, I wanted to. And not only did I not go, my sister and her husband all of a sudden couldn't go. Wait, then my cousin who was bringing his son, he had a rash. He didn't go. My other cousin's daughter vomited on the car ride up, turned around. So it is.
Oh my goodness.
So
that was not meant to be.
It was my aunt, my uncle, I think my two cousins, and that was it. So the big party that's always supposed to happen, everyone had something that was wrong.
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah. That is the way the universe works sometimes, although it's all yucky stuff, but it kind of works out best in the long run. But it worked
out that we didn't have any confrontation. We really couldn't go. I wasn't sick. I was sick. I wasn't able to go. There was really I didn't need an excuse. I was going to face it head on and do it for the kids, but I really couldn't. And then it's ironic how everyone else kind of backed out. So I think maybe the universe didn't want anyone around that negative energy, even though I had my tapping and my aura out. But yeah, so that was that. So I had a great weekend. I got to clean out my garage on Monday and like donate toys and sold some things. So like I did everything. Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you. And I feel spiritually very good. So
wonderful.
Physically, I'm still a little under. How was your weekend, by the way?
It was good. Yeah, we went to a butter tart festival. It was kind of neat. There was lots of neat crafts and there was lots of crystals there, so I was happy. I was just thinking, teach your son that point for the thumb.
Oh, okay.
Because that will help to relax all those muscles in there.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for the tips and advice.
You're welcome.
We are out of time. We got a minute. What else do you want to share? We got to get your contact information out there. So Vanessa and Christine, tell us where we can reach you all.
Yes, you can go to lavenderlaneptw.ca and that's our website. You can contact us anytime through there if you have a question or concern or you don't know what you need. And we'd love to help you with that. And we're always looking for more practitioners who can deliver services online or if you're local in person. We're always looking to expand our reach and to think outside the box. That's what makes this so much fun, right? And like finding new combinations of practitioners and their techniques and, working on the best outcome for our clients in the long run.
Great. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us, Vanessa. Thank you for your tips. I found them useful, and I know our listeners and viewers will too.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.